When you're ready.
Casey!
What's
What
up,
Casey? What's happening, Calvin?
How is everybody? How was y'all days today?
Good.
Bristol! Look who's out of the swamps of the school.
And smiling.
See that? That means she done put a whooping on somebody at the schoolhouse.
Hey,
I know what that smile means,
you know, I have to. They have to learn. You know,
I see.
that's all I'm gonna say. Everything is good.
I get it. All right, that's what I need to hear. All right, so we'll do what we normally do. Ugh. All right. I'll take these glasses off right now.
Thank you.
All right. Whatever. Dear Father, we come to you right now, Lord. We just thank you for this day. We thank you for allowing us to see this day that was not promised to us. Lord, we thank you for all the things that you blessed us with, even to put one foot in front of the other. Lord, we ask you to continue to bless the desires there in our heart, Lord. Whatever each person here is going through today, you know what they need, you know what they're in need of. But we do ask you, like Jabez, bless them, keep them from evil, and enlarge their territory. Lord, we come to you right now and ask you, thank you for Ms. Jennifer to come on to the show. Let people know about what she's doing her part in order to move the culture a little further, Lord. Bless her in her own endeavors, in her family, along with her king and her kids, which I very well know. Bless them in the most predominant way, supernatural way that you see fit. Lord, we ask that everything we do tonight is first they see you before they see what we're talking about. Lord, we ask that if we can touch one soul today about what we're discussing, maybe they can assess something for themselves. Maybe they can see something for themselves or start a conversation in their home. Our goal is to put the phones down, put the computer down, and just have a conversation and find out what it is that you're needing or what it is where you're hurting. And maybe we can get help, or maybe we can get you to someone that can help. And if they want to use us as a vessel, Lord, use us as that. Touch our minds, touch our hearts, God. We love you and we honor you. All these things we ask in the Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All righty then. Are you still playing something? Or you not?
Nah, we go ahead and go get in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sponsored by nobody.
Oh, Lord. Oh, you ain't sponsored nobody today?
Yeah. Sponsored by nobody today.
Okay, I got it. All right.
It's official.
1, 2, 3. We're here for a particular reason.
Time to put the kids to bed.
And that reason is...
It's time for the full 180.
Yep, it's that time, man. It's Tuesday. You know what Tuesdays is. It's time to get into that real conversation with the full 180 convo. What is going on? What is happening? Hope you had a good day today, man. If you didn't, look, we're going to try to bless your day today. That's what we do. In the words of me, DJ Tricky, I like to bless your game. So, you know, I always have my family in the building so we can bless your game right here on the full 180, where we give you that good content and that context, man. Just simple conversation, trying to get you to have a different perspective, or maybe, I didn't think about that type of feel. Of course, the family's in the building, along with a couple special guests. C Murder's back all the way from Kansas City. My big brother, of course, Life Roy is in the building, and we have to introduce her correct. She's your queen to be.
Whatever you like.
Thank you very much, ma'am. All the way from the swamps of the school in a whole other district is none other than our own doctor. It's Dr. B, Miss Miller. She's in the building.
Hey.
Of course, our first lady, and we call her Hey Ladies. All the way from KC Mo. That's none but Miss Tiffany E. KC Estelle. What's going on, peeps?
Everybody. What's going on, DJ Pinky?
And the Grand Queen is in the building. She decided to join us today. I call her Mama. Charles call her Mama. Some people call her Lord. Why? But other than that, man, none other than my own tutor, my mentor, my own woman that I call her, my three queens, my own mother, Miss Barbara Harrington. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today.
Absolutely, sir. Anybody that gave birth to him deserves Medal of Honor. I wear it proudly.
Miss Roy, just know she out here. Oh, you will get it.
Hey, no, because to give
that's off limits. You
but
can't
to
get
give birth to such a personality, she does deserve marriage.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Look at
Starting
Shanice.
already. It's starting.
I know, but but you know what? I'm not tripping. I appreciate you being wide awake. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. With that being said,
13 ounces. I ain't even got started yet.
I'm gonna be good.
Me and Miss Roy gotta do that. It is time for what we call the church nationals with our own first lady, none other than Miss Tiffany E. Estelle Charles. What is the word?
There one.
And everybody govern yourselves
accordingly.
Now, our first lady a little different. Her song is different, Jennifer. This is how she come on.
We finna set it off. I'm finna put you in the trash, man. I'm tired of you. Y'all annoying me right now, for real.
That's what she said.
You wanna talk? You wanna run your mouth? You want some gangster straight? Out, be a shit. Shake it. Be a shit. Oh, shit. Line right.
Hello, everybody in 4180 land. I am bringing to you the 4180 Convo Church announcements today. We are still going strong with our sponsorship and promo pricing program. We have $50 weekly, and we have a package for $150 monthly. And for you private investors, we have an email address that you can send a message to let us know that you want to invest. That email address is the 4180convo@gmail.com. And we hope to hear from you guys. Our next announcement is the DFW Small Business Expo. It is on the 26th of September between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. at the same location, Music City Mall in Louisville. And it is thrown on by Antoine White. To be a vendor, to get in contact with him, his number is 314-630-44655. It's really a good event, guys, right there in Louisville. Get it, girl. HBCU scholarship is off. Y'all, it is this Saturday. We have been announcing it for a while now, and it is finally upon us. September the 11th at the South Oak Cliff High School. It is a $500 cash prize for the best team, if I'm not mistaken. So come out on the 11th, which is Saturday, at the South Oak Cliff High School, and I am trying to find the time. DJ Chicken, can you help me with the time, please?
We start at 10 o'clock in the morning and we'll go till 1 or until somebody's declared the winner. Miss my homie all the way from college, Miss Jennifer Renee. Her husband is my dude. $100 grand. I mean $100 grand. I don't mean the candy bar either. She is the host. She is the CEO of the Get It Girl. So we're definitely gonna get into that conversation with her. But it starts at 10 o'clock, goes to about 1. If you're not doing anything, be more happy to come out. If you can't come out, she's gonna tell you what else you can do to support.
And I'm gonna say the right name is Sock, not the South Oak.
South Oak Cliff.
Sock.
Me First Lady Christina, we got, we try to keep it surprise, but we gonna close the show for y'all.
Oh, y'all dancing? What? Jimmy didn't tell me. Okay. Boy, this is gonna be comical.
We end up taking the prize. We can't even get in there to take the prize from the girls, So we just gonna just volunteer.
Jennifer, you heard it. They going on last. That's a surprise.
I'm gonna drop it like it's warm.
And the next announcement will be
DJ Tricky. I was just about to give it that. And hey, ladies, it's brought to you none other by myself. I'm the host on Saturdays at 11 o'clock. We have interesting topics. And guess what, y'all? Y'all should really join in on Saturdays. Miss Barbara, who is one of our guests today, be letting us have it in a really, really, really good way. She drops a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge on us. So again, on Saturdays at 11 o'clock via Zoom, hey, ladies, it's happening. every Saturday. I do post the link on my Facebook page, Tiffany and Still, for that. So join us on Saturday at 11, and we'll have a good time. Ladies first, wine tasting. On September the 18th, $20 is the admission. That is right after, we got a surprise for y'all coming up as well, but that is right after our very own DJ Tricky being at Harlow. Ladies Love Rooftop Vibes, brunch day party, Saturday, again the 18th, between 1 and 6 down there in Deep Ellum. Haven't gone out to support, gone out there to support. Get some good food and some real good music. What else we got? Oh, we have a sip and paint. We have a new event coming up. Sounds by our very own DJ Tricky on the ones and twos. A sip and paint exotic paint party. That can mean a lot of things, y'all, when they say exotic. So
I'm just DJing.
Don't show up in all your flesh because they said exotic. Make sure you still got your clothes on, thanks and others. Please, thanks. You can purchase your tickets. They are $40. It will be held there in Dallas. There's a cash bar and food will be available.
Oh no, a cash bar? Uh-oh.
It is a cash bar. Ticket is still busy, y'all. On Fridays at that damn daiquiri on karaoke night between 7 and 10. And then the band Frequency will be there between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Actually, you want to hear Frequency, it's more like 10:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. Friday
so much.
in Duncanville.
Hey, CPT time.
Slide it in.
Man,
I'll be dropping my
and
next
that's exactly
album.
what it is, bro. That's
I'll be dropping my
exactly
next
what it
album.
It's the truth. It's the truth. But we would like to thank all of you for joining in today. Those are our church announcements. And everyone, please govern yourselves
accordingly. So we're gonna jump right into it. It ain't the 3-point shot. It's the sound when it hit the net. None other than my brother, Mr. DJ Legend. He's behind the art, keeping you up with all the things in sports. 3-piece, please.
Yes, indeed. Y'all know what time it is. It's football season. It's football season, baby. It's going down. It's going down. All right.
All you ladies, you can go to the mall. You can do whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do, go.
Bring me something back to eat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this game.
That's it. Oh, but first, let me get into something. So I watched track and field this weekend. I don't know what your girl. She I don't know. She must be still going through something because she got 4th place in the 200. Shakira Richardson. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna pray for her, man. I think she just still trying to fight through her battles and everything, but had to bring that up because I watched it. She looked good, but then she couldn't finish it. But I know y'all gonna watch Thursday, right? You know the Cowboys play Thursday.
I'm going out the camera. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to now.
I'm watching that.
I'm gonna watch them lose.
Not watching the Cowboys play. Why would you even ask?
Cowboys gonna play Thursday. You gotta watch the Cowboys.
Always.
I'm excited for whoever else is playing them.
That's the first game of the season. Thursday night football.
Yes, it is.
Thursday night football.
You know,
American team.
With his foot forward.
And who are they playing, y'all?
Man, they
call him
the GOAT. They call him the GOAT, Tom Brady.
He's the chief. He's the ambassador of the NFL. There's no Roger Goodell. There's only the
Tom
master, Tom Brady.
And you know they got them winning the championship again.
I mean, y'all gonna start off the season with an L. But let me be quiet because my mom is something serious about them Cowboys.
Really, Gregory?
Oh, that's why she made that face. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I already know. So it's going down at that. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead, sir.
But the Broncos play. Y'all play the New York Giants. Y'all think I'm gonna beat the Giants?
Yes, we do. What the New York Giants is New York trash. Don't play with me.
No.
They'll be taking an L too.
Right.
Just know See,
Tiffany.
which I don't understand. It goes down during football season. Because if the Cowboys get the L on Thursday, she gonna get a phone call right after the game. She knows
That's
it.
fine. I'm good with that. Just
Okay.
expect your phone call.
When I get that W, baby.
Hell, dude.
Okay. All right.
Tiffany.
Go ahead, Charles.
Tiffany, what's going on with the Chiefs and the Browns? What they gonna do? I think the Browns gonna beat them.
Chiefs is gonna win. You're just salty because you know the Cowboys are gonna lose.
No,
the Chiefs will be winning that game.
I think the Browns gonna surprise people. They're gonna surprise people. They actually predictions, they got the Browns winning, actually. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They may surprise them. Just not this game.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. And maybe we gotta get, you're supposed to get Whataburger in Kansas City, so I don't know what's gonna happen when you get the Whataburger, in Kansas City. So
I think
y'all
it's
trying to get a little Texas and Kansas City now, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We got a lot of Texas in Kansas City. My homes is down there.
Oh, that's right. Y'all do. Y'all welcome.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see what's gonna go down this weekend. Though I know the Cowboys gonna win Thursday.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Come on, Martin Luther King. Keep hope alive.
That's all I gotta say.
Keep hope alive. Oh, thank you, brother, for giving us that insight of going beyond the art. Of course, you can always catch my brother anywhere around the Metroplex on the ones and twos handling his business. So let's get into it, man. Before we get into Jennifer, I got this quote. The quote of the day. A person that looks out for everybody is always alone when they need somebody. Haven't y'all ever felt that way, man? Have you ever just felt that way? Like, man, look, you are always there for everybody. But guess what? To me, when you ever there for everybody, that's the God in you. So as my grandfather would always tell me, you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Of course, everybody knows I got that petty person. And yeah, I do want to watch you burn and hold the water. But what am I going to get out of it?
Really?
So, do the right thing. I know it happens to you. I know it goes on, but understand what the bigger purpose that God has on your life. Or if I use this analogy, sometimes you got to learn how to get out the frame of things and get into the big picture. So, with that being said, man, we're going to go and get to it. My girl, she's here. Let me tell y'all something. When I tell you Jennifer is cooler than two fans, a two-piece and a pepper, and you don't even need the biscuit. When I tell you, boy, we was in school. Now, don't get me wrong, she stayed and highly qualified there. But in school, you could get the business. That mouth is something else. But now she had took all that energy and created the Get It Girl Incorporation. She's putting on the HBCU Scholarship Dance Off this weekend at the South Oak Cliff High School. We call it SOC. It starts off at 10. So, Ms. Zen, you got a little feedback, but we good. We're gonna work with it. Give us the information and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey.
Ooh, that's a lot of feedback.
Can you hear it? Is it a lot of feedback?
So you sound a little robotic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you still sound a little robotic. So do this. Try. Okay, do this. Try falling off and then logging back in.
Okay. We'll
see if that changed. Yeah, we'll get you right back in. You good.
All right.
But I want to make sure everybody can hear you clearly, ma'am.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We right here waiting on you. All right, while we waiting on her to come back in, I want to get into the topic. So today, I always send it out to the cast first before y'all ever get it. But today's topic is talking about let's see. Okay. So, of course, if anybody know me, my sister, my mother, we have what we call our family meetings where we just, chill, we talk, we do whatever, and we just have real dialect or whatever. So this came about yesterday, and my sister made the assessment of herself that she grew up out of survival and not necessarily out of love, or she'll say, I grew up out of love. So, and with that, and if I miss any gaps, my mother can fill them in. But the way that she explained it was, it's the depiction of what type of relationships you encounter. Growing up out of love gives children to grow with a foundation that allows them to make mistakes and try again with support and have a support system, and to learn with little judgment. Growing up out of survival is seeing and being in the midst of life struggles and learning your own way out, and later in life only having yourself as your own support system. Self pressures of not failing because it's not an option, not being able to rely on others as much, having a backup plan. So I want to play this video, and hopefully it'll play. Give me 1 second to give us a better insight of what we're talking about. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
It's playing, just can't hear it.
Yeah, we can't hear you, G.
It looks like it's muted.
Yeah, it is muted.
You're muted too, Greg. You talking to us?
Okay, hold up.
Energy, you go forward, whatever it is.
So you need somebody back in here.
Why? Because when I come in a clubhouse room, they expose themselves. Can someone raised on love have a successful relationship with someone who was raised on survival? Yo, Rico, was you in my text messages? Hold on, let me go. Hold on. You been going. Can somebody that's raised on love be in a successful relationship with someone that's based on survival? The only way that can coexist if that person that's raised on survival is open to hearing the person that's on love, and the person that's on love is open to hearing the person that's on survival. Talk more. No, because at the end of the day, right? You bring two people together And this is my story. This is my story. We have to find a balance. I don't want to sit there and say it's so black and white. Once again, both people have to be open. So love has to be open to survival. Survival have to be open to love. And then that's how y'all go on this survival love journey. Because at the end of the day, you saw something in that person that was like, this is not usually what I go for, but I'm going to go there. And vice versa. So for it to work, you have to be open. You have to listen. And that's the only way it can work. It's not just your love, survival, we don't work. No, because you need survival and love. You need love and survival. It's like the hard and the soft and the hard, up, down, day, night. I just want to elaborate on what you said real quick. But I want to flip what you just said, though, about the survival and the love versus. I think her going to choose to be choosing herself and her sexuality, that was love. I'm on the opposite end. Because to me, I feel like love, being raised on love and survival is so different. And I personally was raised on survival. You know what I'm saying? I was homeless, you know what I'm saying, for a long period of time growing up. My mom was a single parent and nobody helped us. And we just had to get it how we had to get it. We lived in station wagons. You know what I'm saying? I had lived in the most rundown apartments, or I had rats and roaches in my apartments, and we just had to survive. You know what I'm saying? We just had to make it to the next day, and maybe things got better. And that was, of course, a period was like almost my whole entire childhood. So like I do end up dating girls who are raised on love, and it's usually a problem. And the problem is because she was raised on love, so she can't understand survival, and I can't understand her love. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that kind of binds us together is that when you're raised on love, you find some miraculously good in the worst of situations. And that was a mess. Because when you're raised on survival, all you know is to survive. And with survive comes, anger, hostility. You know what I'm saying? Almost, I have no emotions. People died in front of me and I don't cry, I don't shed no tears because I was raised on survival. And they say, yo, something must be wrong with you. You must be a sociopath because you don't have emotions. But I was just raised on survival, so they can't understand that.
All right. Sorry about that. It played earlier differently, so that's why I figured out what it was. So basically, that's where she sent me that today, and then we were talking about that yesterday. So that's why I was like, survival and love. And the way that she's explained it, and I'm gonna let Jennifer jump in here before we get into it real quick, and she can stick around if she wants. The way she explained it was her growing up, she had to figure out how to get it done. Like, there was no, I got to do it today. There's no asking nobody how to do it. There was no leaning on nobody how to do it. It was like, I have to do it for this, and then I got to turn around and do it for this person. So it's like, I got too many things going on versus, me, as she stated yesterday, and my mother can feel it, like I said, she said, well, you got the best of both worlds. You seen survival and you seen love. So now it's kind of like, but you was raised in that love where if things really got hard, you could make that phone call. You can say, hey, I need help, and somebody will show up. I didn't have it. So then in her relationships now, it's a task because she's always in survival mode, trying to make sure, okay, I know you said you got it, but I still got to have it. Because I'm used to, I got to survive to eat, to get done, or whatever the case may be. Jen, you ready?
I hope so. I hope I don't sound like a robot anymore.
Nah, you good. So, once again, this is Jennifer with the HBCU Go Get It Girl Incorporation, who's putting on the show on Saturday, and I'll let her do her spiel.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Greg. I appreciate you. 20 plus years.
Man.
We go back way back. I'm proud to see what you're doing, and this is amazing. So thank you for the opportunity. Get It Girl gatherings. We are doing something big. Most of our events are faith-based because we are a faith community entrepreneurial initiative type organization that helps specifically women engage, encourage, and empower them to live life without limits. So we decided to do something different for young women And I've been a part of this dance industry for about a year with my daughter. And I said, if we could connect scholarships and other opportunities with this dance and the art of dance, we could really do something big. And I'm a graduate of a HBCU. Shout out to Paul Quinn, the Quinnite Nation. So I said, you know what? It's all these big HBCUs that get recognition all the time. You always hear about Howard and Spelman, but I mean, there's Jarvis Christian College, there's Wiley, there's Paul Quinn, there's Houston Tillotson. It's so many other ones that don't get as much love, but they are producing phenomenal leaders. So we wanted to create something that would give these high school graduating seniors an opportunity to go to school as free as possible and to graduate without debt. In the name of Jesus, nobody has time for students loans. Amen. So we
Amen.
want to
Amen.
encourage them to do something bigger than just compete on a local level, but to really see this dance opportunity as an art that they could pursue on a graduate level and to do something bigger, and that can open up doors for school. So we decided to connect them all, and we created this opportunity to raise money. We're trying to raise $20,000 for our newly initiative of our scholarship fund, and we need your help. So anything you can do, just making a post, liking, sharing, posting our flyer, will get the word out and encourage others to come down to SOC on this Saturday and be able to donate. All the ticket sales will go toward the scholarship fund. So doors open at 10 a.m. The show's going to start at 11. We have competing teams, local and out of the city, from San Antonio, Killeen, and just all over Texas, who are going to come and believe in this vision. And we just going to believe God's going to continue to blow on it. We're going to open doors for several girls. If you've seen the promo video, we've gotten so much positive feedback from it, who are looking out for these girls. The girls in the video were in 8th grade.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Those girls have been dancing for years. So it's something they could really pursue on a corporate level if they're just guided the right way. And we want to open the door and allow this scholarship to be a part of their journey. So if you guys could come Saturday, September 11th, 10 a.m., it's $20 at the door, and the proceeds are going toward the scholarship fund, and you all could be a part of it and just help us go and get it.
Yes, ma'am. So are you doing girls of all ages, or is just so it's K through 8, it's K through 6 and 7 through 12?
So we have 3 different age categories that are competing. We have the little minis, the little cute bitty girls with the puffs. Then we have K through 6, which are going up into middle school. Then we have 7th through 12th grade. And those are the girls who are typically on the battle squads that you see on TV shows like Bring It and all of those things. So we have all 3 different age categories. We have a local team that's coming to showcase. We have a food truck that's going to be serving sliders, all different kind of gourmet sliders, as well as all the concessions are going toward the SOC Booster Club. So every ounce, every penny of money that's going to be raised through the concession stands is going to be supporting the band, the dance team, the athletic department at SOC. So all of it is a win-win for everyone. This is their first community event that's going on at the newly renovated gym. So we're super excited to partner with Coach Mays there and just really get our hands on doing something bigger and something different in this community.
So the whole name, Get It Girl, how did you come up with it?
So I was thinking many years ago about purpose. And when we're thinking about purpose, I'm thinking about the pursuit of purpose. So for me, it was chasing after what God had for me. And I said, well, Lord, what can I do to go and get more of you, more of what you have for me, more doors open? What can I do? And God said, chase me. So that's kind of how it came about, being a go-getter, being able to go and get everything that God has in store for you, whatever that it may be. It may be business, it may be entrepreneurship, it may be the arts, it could be a plethora of things and in various different industries, but doing it wholeheartedly, chasing it without fear and believing that God is going to order every step along the way. And so from that, Get a Girl Gatherings was birthed. We had a women's conference, I think back in 2018, is when we had our first women's conference. We do local gatherings every quarter with just women in leadership, developing leaders, growing, helping women establish nonprofits. My degree is in entrepreneurship, so I love helping people establish things. So from the beginning, from the idea to the execution of making businesses and things happen, I'm all for it. And it's just been growing ever since.
Cool. I'm glad you said that. So I'm going to introduce you to my sister, my homie, Charles Noah, Miss Frankie, of course, Miss Kiki, and then our own First Lady, Miss Casey Estelle, is a part of this women's group called WAP, Women Walking in Purpose.
Oh, I love that.
They are tremendous in giving back. They feed the homeless like once a month, every Sunday. Me and Charles have been out there donating clothes or whatever, or not. They're in the process of reconfiguring some things and then taking it back to trying to move it to Dallas to support there. So I definitely have to put you in contact with them. So my next question is, if people are not able to come, how can they donate to what you're doing?
Definitely. So if they cannot come, that is not a problem. Donations are available through our Eventbrite. So if they just Google Get It Girl HBCU Scholarship, it'll pop up and there's a donation button for you to donate, all $50,000 that you want to donate.
Don't claim it.
You got to speak it into existence. That's just what I'm doing.
There you go.
But whatever amount that you've been led to donate, you can definitely do it there. They can also contact us through getagirlgatherings.com and send us an email, and we can, if there's a different amount or they don't trust Eventbrite and want to send Zelle, or even for the people who want to donate via Cash App, we have a plethora of opportunities and options for them to submit their donation over to our organization. Applications are going to open up in January for all the graduating seniors to apply. We're going to award recipients in April. And we believe this is just the beginning of something big. We really do.
And what do the senior, you just segue into my question, what do these graduating seniors have to do in order to apply?
Definitely. So the purpose of this scholarship is to support HBCUs. So they have to be fully accepted into an HBCU for the fall of 2022. Okay. To apply, they need to have a 3.0 grade point average. They're going to have a letter of proof of community service, as well as a recommendation letter from a mentor, a pastor, someone who can vouch for who they are and how they've been serving the community. They will have to write an essay, and we want to know what empowerment means to them. So we're going to collect all these things. We have a board of women leaders who are going to go through, and we're going to sift through all of this. We're trying to award as many scholarships as possible. And the scholarships will be about $2,500 each.
Man, say the number again.
Yeah, $2,500 each. So we think that we want to do something bigger than just paying for your books. We want to help somebody be able to pay for room and board, be able to, we're trying to minimize loans as much as possible for these people, as well as bring awareness to less recognized HBCUs. And we think we're on to something big. So we're excited, and please spread the word. Whatever seniors that you might know, people are graduating, encourage them to apply to a HBCU. There's nothing like getting educated by our own. I can say that. So if they apply to these schools, and schools that they might not even know exist, but have programs that they're interested in, it opens doors on both sides. So that's what we're trying to do and make that happen.
Cool beans, man. When I tell y'all, this is Jennifer, like from the heart. This is what she do. This is not made up. This is not fake. I tell people, people I call friend, they look. If you know me, you looking at, when you see me, you see them. It's just the same way. We don't handle each other rough. We just handle each other well. But I will say she has a huge heart, a very huge heart. So I will be there on the ones and twos along with the MC to make sure we have a good time and make a party of it. But if you can come out, please come out. Y'all pray for me, because she said I had to be there at 7:00. Lord knows.
Yes, please pray.
You don't like to get up early.
Hold on. I didn't ask for no cheerleaders though. No cheerleaders. I didn't ask for no cheerleaders. But I'm playing. But I'm gonna be there, man, so we can make that happen. So, man, look, if y'all can come out, please do. If not, make sure you donate. I promise you, man. I went along the Grambling, but I had to change different directions and finish the ASU. But when I tell you, being at the Den at GSU, I got my first experience when my cousin, which is his birthday, is coming up, Eric. He went to Alcorn, and this is my first encounter of an HBCU school. He went to Alcorn, and the quarterback at that time, rest in peace, was the gentleman who passed away. What is his name, Charles? He played for Tennessee Titans.
McNair.
Yeah, McNair. Got to meet him while he was in college, man. Being in that den, being around a bowl of black people. Yeah, I said bowl, not a group. Man, it was a good experience. It was no drama. People having a good time, representing their school. So, you know, if you haven't looked into it, encourage your kids, encourage your nieces, whoever, cousins, just look into it. Let them make the decision, but, you know, look into it and come out and have a good time this Saturday. Jennifer, you more welcome to stick around. You ain't got nothing to do. You already done fed my brother.
Look, dinner's on the stove right now. The man of God's waiting.
I see the man of God. Y'all hear that? I need y'all to take notes, man of God. No, I'm playing.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, love. Thank you. I will see you Saturday. Tell him I said hello.
Love much.
All right, love you too. All right, man, we're going to jump back into the topic, man. Survival. Were you growing up on love or was you growing up on survival? So what y'all think about that? I'm shut up and let y'all talk.
I grew up in the middle.
Go ahead, Bree.
No, I was just saying I kind of grew up in the middle, but once I got a little bit older, I started flowing more towards survival. I mean, I had a lot of love and everything, but my parents just taught me to have a healthy balance between the two. Like, you know, my mom is a hustler. Hustling is in my blood. I don't have no choice but to get it and to get it done. And so I think I kind of have like a happy medium because I mean, so I can't say I'm one way or the other.
Okay.
I would say it was pretty midstream for me as well. I think we had more love than survival. However, that came from my mother and my grandmother not wanting us to have to survive the way that they did. So it was more love shown. I can say with Bree, I think there was an age that I reached that was more survival than love based on the choices I would say that I made for myself. But growing up, I would definitely say more love than survival, but I have them both.
I think I had both. As far as me, I was the only boy in the house. I had to be the man of the house since I was 5. So I had love, but I had to survive also because I had to learn how to be a man and grow up as a boy and see other things outside the household to kind of survive and see how the world works for me. So
I was gonna add to like from like my mom, and I was just kind of thinking she was a survivor. And I think that because she was a survivor, she wanted to make sure that we kept those same type of instincts and the same type of drive so that if we ever found ourselves in the same type of situation, that we know how to, as women, you know, to pick ourselves up and do what we have to do and not to have to rely on a man. But with that said, too, I think some part of that has kind of been some sort of a negative impact on me because I realized that like I do tend to stay more into my survival mode based off of that and just, you know, my marriages and stuff like that. It's kind of like, okay, I know that I got kids and I can't just sit around and wait for a man to do the things that, you know, men typically do. So, you know, I have to just pick up the pieces and get it done myself or call somebody or, you know, figure it out.
License Roy?
I grew up on survival, pure D survival, 100%. I don't know, it just is. But I'm gonna throw some science in it. That's always got a backstory. Science. There's this theorist, and his name is Maslow. If you took psychology 101, you heard about Maslow. And Maslow had this thing, and it's called a hierarchy of needs. And at the base of your hierarchy is food, water, shelter, just the basics. And then as you move up, then, becomes family, and then it goes up until you get to self-actualization, where you can focus on your career and dreams and things like that. But those of us who grew up surviving, we never get off that base. If I can't, if I don't know what I'm gonna eat, if I don't know where I'm gonna sleep, if I don't know, anything about myself, if I don't know where my next meal is coming from, I can't think of anything higher than just that. And so that's what Maslow said, that many people in this world, we're stuck at that base. We will move up that triangle because we haven't even had the base needs met. And so how can I self-actualize and love myself and love others if I'm worried about where I'm going to sleep, eat, and be?
Go ahead. I know you itching.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Yeah, you know who I'm talking to. Go ahead.
I beg your pardon.
I know you itching. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm not itching. But I will say this. I grew up in a very loving and nurturing home. And newsflash, men can be nurturing. My father was very nurturing. He was very engaged in what we were doing. And we were, we always got the, you can do anything you put your mind to, that type of thing. Growing up, all I knew is that when I hit the switch, the light came on. When I opened up the refrigerator, there was always something to eat. And like I said, they were very engaged in our lives and what we were doing in school and that type of thing. So last night when Greg and Brandy and I were having the conversation, and she mentioned the survival mode, call me naive if you want, but it's like that never, ever occurred to me. Not once did that ever occur to me. And so I guess I was a little blown away by that I never even considered it. And I don't think it was so, when we were talking last night, I don't think it was so much being worried about the basic needs of life, as in shelter and food and clothes and that type of thing. I think for me, it was more of your parent not being actively engaged and participating in your rearing, in instilling that, instilling that drive in you, that you can do anything you put your mind to. Don't let other people limit you. Because I guess what I heard last night is that, she felt like no one really had her back, that she had to be self-sufficient and figure it out because there was nobody there to have her back. And considering the home I grew up in, to hear her say that, it really struck a chord in me, because it's like, oh my God, I can't imagine my parents not being there and being engaged and, instilling in me the things that they instilled in me. And so she did bring up that, I'm more the nurturer than Greg's dad. Johnny was more, because he did grow up in survival mode. So Johnny was more, hey, get out there, figure it out, stand up, be a man. And I was the one that was like, okay, I'm your safety net. I'm going to be here to rescue. And, I don't mind telling you that he and I did a lot of this when it came to Greg. So simply because we just didn't have the conversation that needed to be had, as parents coming from two totally different perspectives.
And I was going to say that I think it's so funny that you just said that, because I heard someone say on the show before, the little clip that we saw, that it was she or he, I believe it was he was attracted to women that grew up in a two-family home. So right. The men that I dated or, married were two-parent home families. I grew up with a single mother. So being with them was a totally different dynamic for me than because I saw more so of a mother hustling, doing what she needed to do, other than a father and a mother coming together as one to make sure things got done. So when I first was introduced to it, I was like, oh, this is really weird. Like, men and women do this? Like, y'all sit down to say what we're going to do with the kids? I never knew what that was. So I was in, I've always been, for whatever reason, probably because that's what I want, although I kick against the prick, but I've always wanted that. So I'm sure that's why I was always kind of naturally drawn to men, not knowing that they came up, but it just always kind of worked out that way, that it was a two-parent home. So who as a single mother really wants to be a single mother? You know, life choices and everything. But it was interesting that you said that, and when I heard that, I'd always been, it was weird to me until it had to click. And again, I still kick a little hard because I'm used to myself, again, making choices in life, being in survival mode or understanding what it is to raise kids by myself at a certain point of time. So I just click into that quite natural. Get out there, get it done. Can't really depend on you. If I can, then that's, you know, I've learned to be normal. So I can't say it's abnormal anymore, but it definitely was. First time I had somebody like show me, I was like, where you come from? Who your mama is?
And it's interesting you say that. When she said that, Charles, last night, it put me in a whole nother perspective. You know how we always say, when, you know, me and you, we've bumped into women that say, oh, well, you're scary because you're different. So it's like, okay, well, now I kind of get it. You've been walking around trying to play Rambo all your life. And you've been in these woods wandering by yourself. Now you find somebody who want to walk through the caution tape with you. And you like, yeah.
It's hard for them to get over that hump, like.
Right.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, and that's very difficult.
Go ahead, B.
I was just saying that's very difficult. I was gonna wait till you finish your thought though.
Oh, but you know, now even with that said, even with my own father and mother, and she said they bumped heads a lot. It's difficult, but you have to make the choice. So when I say that, I'm talking about me. Now, as I just stated, I grew up with both. You know, I had to either go. My dad was a hustler. That's why I tell people I know how to go get it. I ain't got a problem going to get it. And then my mother is what we call the brainiac. She gonna think about it, figure it out. She gonna ask some inquisitive questions. And then, you know, I always tell her she can buy and make you sell whatever shirt you got on your back. She can make you give it to her and then sell it back to you. Because you know, you just got that word game. But with my thing with my father was, yeah, you grew up like that. Yeah, your father wasn't there, this and that. But you have to make the choice to change. You can't. Yes. You have these choices. You're gonna live in that world, or you're gonna be different. Right. It's like somebody with ADHD. Either you gonna lean on your excuse forever, or you gonna get the hell up and change the game. And I used this last night. My mother had me when she was 15. Took a year out of school, still went back and graduated with a 4.0, right? But I broke the cycle, and I still don't have no kids at 43. So it's like either I can make the change, or I could have just had kids and be like, well, you had kids, so what? You can't go around in life and making an excuse. And I understand, you know, when you're growing up, you're going through this, and, you know, License Roy, of course, she's a therapist, so she can jump in on that. When you're growing up as a kid, you might not see it that way. But as an adult, when you get to an adult at a certain age, you gotta quit making excuses for yourself. You just either you're gonna get it or you're not. And if you're going around, and I told my sister this yesterday, you're going to have to get out of there if you ever want to have a real relationship. You can't think everybody out here trying to get you. Everybody not. And a whole lot of us done messed over a whole lot of people because of that.
And it's kind of like that video. It's kind of like that video you showed. It's like both sides have to see the other side. Right. So, you know, you got to, because if you know, for me, like I say, I kind of grew up in the middle, but I was kind of forced as an adult, not as a child. I was forced as an adult to go into survival mode. And so I think that for me being in survival mode so much as an adult, it's kind of hard to even see myself not being in survival mode. You know what I mean? Because I've, you just spend so many years, especially with my children. Like, I've given them so much love. If anybody know me, they know how I am about my children. But I also really push them to survive as well, to not be so not hold a crutch to feel like they need somebody, but also be open to understand that there is love out there. There is somebody, basically don't be like me, type of stuff, but like just be open to have conversation. I always teach my kids, even just talking to me, I can step out of mama mode for just a second. I want you to really tell me how you feel so that when, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
So that when they become older, they know how to effectively communicate.
And I'm gonna say this, B. My bad. But let me say this, B. What I'm gonna say, B, is you say you teach your kids all that, but mama gotta have a life too. Mama need that same thing.
Yeah.
So when do you go get it?
Sure.
When you gonna go get it for yourself? When you gonna step out of being survival mode? I'm just saying, because I know you say you teach your kids that to be open, but it's like, well, you got to be open too.
I agree with that, and that's why I'm saying, like, it is difficult, but it's very possible. Like you say, at some point, I wouldn't say it's excuse or necessary. It's just you have to learn how to communicate and let your guard down a little bit so that you can be open. And I'm saying this to myself too, because in the last year or so, I've actually, been to therapy, and sometimes it takes that. Sometimes people don't know that that's where they are, that's, what I mean, how to get out of that. And so I strongly encourage people to go seek help and seek therapy so that they can have some revelations about themselves. I know I did. Now it's a process. It took me many years to get into where I am, so it's going to take me some time to get out. But you got to be willing.
Go ahead, Mom. I interrupted you.
No, it's the thing I find about individuals who have grown up in survival mode is that they tend to be extremely independent. They tend to be stubborn, headstrong, very controlling. And it's like, because anyway, okay. So I guess what I'm
just
saying
talk.
is
Just talk.
No, I guess what I'm saying is this, is that when you step into a relationship with someone and you're trying to build something and you are in survivor mode and you're so controlling, that is a major turnoff for people. So it's like we tend not to deal with our own baggage before we drag other people into relationships, and then they have to deal with that, which is not fair. It's like, can we not have the open, honest conversation up front, or even just have the conversation with yourself and realize I'm not ready to be in relationship. I have some things that I need to resolve, and not drag other people into dealing with all of your baggage. Now, if you happen to get somebody who is very patient and is willing to hang in there and support you and encourage you as you work through those issues, thank God for that. But a lot of people are not going to have that kind of patience. I've even heard Greg say, hey, you know what? Everything has an expiration date. And especially if we don't have the conversation going into the relationship, and I'm getting all of this and I'm not even sure where it's coming from, that just makes things more difficult.
License, Roy?
And I heard you say, okay.
Go ahead, Bray.
Well, no,
I was going to say, I heard
license Roy, so she need to finish that.
Okay.
Go ahead, license Roy. And then I'm going to get Bree in first lady.
I try my best, even though I don't succeed all the time, to not come off saying like I know everything, because I don't. I'm just a traveler, But one thing I can say is, from being born from survival mode, literally from out the gate, to, it has impacted my life and, my walk. I try, make that perfect, better, everything's fine life for my daughter. Baby girl turned 17 yesterday. Shout out to Kayla. She's 17
Happy
now.
birthday, Niecy Pooh.
She got her tattoo. She'll be
Oh,
flat later.
oh Lord.
Already, she joined the gang.
Yeah, she got blessed on her. So,
That's what's up.
But so my daughter knows nothing but, both of my daughters know nothing but love. However, in each and every one of us, regardless if it's with a bunch of love or survival mode, you got an injured little kid inside of you. Many of us walk around as injured children inside of us. And it takes a lot of understanding and a lot of self-thought and a lot of self-development to realize that you have to finish aging that child inside of you, that you have to finish maturing that child inside of you emotionally. And unfortunately, in a lot of minority communities, especially the Black community, there is not a lot of attention and or understanding giving to people who have to mature that child inside of them. Every one of us is damaged and flawed in some way, shape, and form. And love is patient, love is kind, love isn't judging, love keeps no records of wrongs. These are just basic truths. So if you do enter into a relationship with someone who's not at the same level as you are, you have to, go back on love, that agape, that love without judge, and help them find their way. Sometimes two people are meant to be together, so that I can tell you, hey, you got that bag, why don't you set it down? Or hey, let me help you carry that bag. As a therapist, I know people who've been in therapy with me for years. I've been in therapy for years. By no means necessary. The reason why I think I'm good at my job is because I'm so flawed. I know every wrong way to do it. I know all the wrong ways to do it. But I can say this, it's a lot of maturity and self-development of that child inside of you. And recognizing that if that child inside of you doesn't know where they're going to live, doesn't know where they're going to stay, many of us are coping with bills right now, trying to figure out how to pay rent, lights, phone, cable, do whatever, get this, whatever it is our kids need. How can we achieve greater depths and aspire to greater heights and our full potential if we worrying about the basics? So it comes in again, helping your brother, lending a hand back and forth, understanding we're not all at the same place, and just being patient and showing the same love that Jesus would have, had us show each other. I always read the words in red. So that's where I'm at with it.
First Lady?
What I was going to say is, listening to what Ms. Barbara said, I absolutely agree. I have definitely been guilty of it. I know walking into a lot of things, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, so forgive me if it sounds like it, but I know a lot of people are afraid of walk away, so they keep a lot in. I think a lot of people feel like they are ready because they feel like they waited for a long amount of time, and then there's something that clicks or something that happens. But I know I have been guilty of, one, thinking I was ready, two, afraid to say who I was because of the word that we've spoken on before, the word rejection. That was a huge thing for me. Rejection was, I just couldn't deal with it because there are so many obstacles that I'd already dealt with, being a kid, being, a teenager, then hitting my 20s and then 30s. It was a lot. So to just openly say, this is who I am, when I had already experienced walk away because I gave who I was, shut me down. So I was like, no, why would I give you all of me when I've given that before and I still got walk away? I still got judgment. I still got all of those things. So I said, well, you're going to get surfaced because my depth, people can't deal with. So I will say, and again, hopefully it doesn't sound like an excuse, but it's definitely my reality.
No,
So,
I get it. It's a process. I mean, it's a process. And I get that. I think that another thing that really struck a chord in me last night when Greg and Brandy and I was talking is that I got the feeling that because of growing up in survivor mode, she really felt like she had to do life by herself. And that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because, it's none of us are intended to do life by ourselves. And so it's just very important to me that she knows that, come what may, at the end of the day, she has me and her brother until God calls us home. So for those people that are out there feeling like that, you're doing life by yourself, I really pray that God sends you someone that will help you to know and to understand that you don't have to do life by yourself.
And but I think we all, I'm not all, I don't want to say that. I think some people have a misrepresentation of what relationship is. Honestly, I don't think people have really dug deep to even know what the term or the word relationship really means. I think a lot of people equate relationship with they got to be head over heels in love and they got to feel these butterflies every day. And they got to make sure and in the moment those butterflies, you hit a snag in the relationship and you don't feel those butterflies. A lot of people tend to run, want it to be over because I want to feel these butterflies. Why don't I feel them right now? But I don't think they get the understanding that it don't work that way all the time. You're going to hit a snag. And that snag, I told my sister one time, and I shared it on the show, that you will know how stable your relationship is once the storm is over. If you can get through that storm and y'all still together, that means y'all solidified. But if you think it's going to be peaches and cream and roses all day long, man, and that's in any relationship, I don't care if it's sister, mother to mother, mother to daughter, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to understand what it is. And I have to be honest and say, coming up to a certain point in life, I didn't know what the word relationship meant. And it's really serious. And I think we overlook so many things that are absolutely detrimental to us growing in one Christ and being with someone else. How do I be with someone else if I don't know what a relationship is? And it's really sad for me to say that. However, when you are someone like me at a certain age, because of choices I made, I kicked into survival mode. This is what I have to do to make sure I get from point A to point B. So my life journey has been being an adult and making choices on my own was, Tiffany, how do you get here? And then get here. So from A to Z, what are you going to do? So I always had a plan A, B, and C, just in case A didn't work out or B didn't work out, like I never counted on. And I was going to say, and hopefully I'm not being too lengthy, but with my baby girl don't know nothing about survival. She knows hustle because she saw her daddy work and her mama work, but survival, no. Like my daughter's the kind, you ask Cheyenne where she want to go eat. That girl don't say McDonald's. She don't even say Applebee's, y'all. I can even deal with Applebee's. She want to go and spend $50 a plate. Girl, bye. But I raised her. That's what she knows because that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? Where me asking for McDonald's was a treat. Like, Mama, can we have McDonald's? And McDonald's growing up for me was really cheap. But to say McDonald's, and she had that, okay, y'all, we can have McDonald's. We was like, girl, we get to go to McDonald's. You know, we put on Sunday shows for McDonald's. You hear me? My daughter don't know that. She like, what you talking about? I don't want no McDonald's. Girl, I can eat that as a snack. Where are we going to the real restaurant? Like, what we supposed to do? So it's so weird because it is the transition. Just seeing how it was for me. I don't want her to experience that. I want her to know that, again, like you grew up, Miss Barbara, whatever you want to be, go for it.
Yes.
Push. Make sure it happens. And Mama got you. Come hell or high water. We're going to make this work.
So, License Roy, I got a question. You said you grew up in survival, but you are married. So, in order to get to where you are with Mystic, what's up, bro? Like, did you sooner or later have to kill that person that you created in order to be in that? Or I guess the better question is, how did you get over that? You know, you can correlate the two.
You know, I didn't. My survival mode was born. I was born into it. It wasn't, and I didn't know what love was because love was so inconsistent. You know, and love's always had strings in my growing up from family. I remember one of the most detrimental memories I have, that, you know, I'm still working on healing, is being 8 years old. And I was the first kid born out of wedlock, you know, and my brothers, my cousins, and everybody getting in the car to go to Disney. And, you know, their parents all get in the car and I come out with my stuff and I, you know, try to go in the car. And I remember my grandma saying, "What you doing?" And I was like, "I'm going to Disney with, you know, Quincy and Sean and everybody." And she's saying, you know, "Ain't nobody got no money for you. You need to go back in the house. You ain't going nowhere. You know, nobody has time for you like that." So that's what I grew up. That's the message I grew up with from jump. You weren't wanted. You weren't planned. You're not supposed to be here. So what I had to do as a course of my life is rebuild me. I had to say, okay, you know, Christina, yeah, your mom didn't want you. Yes, your unplanned pregnancy. Yes, your grandmother was ashamed of you. Yes, you don't know who your dad is. Yes, you're living with a drug addict and you're here and you're there. Yes, you've moved 13 times, but I'm gonna be that three. I had a 4.0 GPA. I graduated number 6. I graduated President of Honor Society, first Black president of Honor Society in the district, outstanding girl in the district. I was homeless my senior year. My friends were taking me back and forth, you know, the few that knew my situation, so that I could, you know, just do regular everyday things. I know that it is nothing but God that helped me, because there is no reason. I am a walking statistic. There is anybody who knew me, knows my story, will tell you there is no reason why I should be here. I struggle with insecurity. I mean, that's something I'm going to wrestle with. Any man who's going to be with me, you don't have to understand. I'm not going to trust you off top. That's just me. Because if the very first person that's supposed to love you and protect you and trust you is your mother. If your mother or your caregiver does not have that attachment with you, then you become a flawed individual. And that's proof in the children that we see get adopted from Russia. You know, those boys and girls that come from Russia and they were in these orphanages and all of a sudden they're holy terrorists and antisocial personality. That's because they were left in cribs and ignored for the first year. So this is developmental. So what you have to do is you have to look within yourself and you say, you know what? I see what the streets look like. That was for me. I saw the streets. I saw my mom. I saw things and I said, you know what? I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to do better than that. So I looked at what other people had. And then I started patterning my life, you know, about that. And I was like, you know, surely God has something else. And I understood what it felt like not to be loved. So I wanted to give love. And that is just something in it of me that grew that said, you know what, Christine, if you know what it's like to hurt, don't come into a relationship bringing hurt. And it took a special man in my life, Brandon. He loves me completely. Our relationship is very different. Anybody that speaks on it will probably get cussed out because we have a different understanding with one another. And the love that we have is beyond that romantic, you know, kissy love. That stuff goes. But somebody who's going, you know, I wake up out of surgery, he's there. He has his, you know, he wake up, I'm there. You know, who raises, you know, an autistic child that is not yours biologically from age 3 to 17. Taylor is not easy. Who then also adopts a child with me. That is love. So when you know that, you're able to heal yourself. And loving my children, I've been able to heal myself. But you have to make a decision. It is a decision. I could easily have sat down and said, you know what? I come from a poor family. Nobody loves me. You know, my mom's a drug addict. You know, I have all these bad stuff happening to me. I could have said that and it'd been okay, but that just wasn't in me. It wasn't in me.
I gotta quit. When you get done, I gotta quit.
Yeah.
So do you think that you could be, people can be so loved that they don't know no other way? I'm asking this question because, I mean, I'm not plugging my book at all, but in my book, I talk about that. I talk about how I was so addicted to that feeling of being loved that I constantly sought after it. So I always had to find myself, thanks, Greg, in a relationship with someone in order to feel something about myself. And it took me one day, I just had to decide, like you say, you make a decision that all love ain't good love, because it's really not love. It was a superficial feeling of what I thought love was, because I did experience a lot of love from my family. My mom, my dad, my stepdad, kind of, he raised me. He was there for me, support me in a lot of the first things I've ever had that he didn't have to. You know what I mean? And so once I became an adult, I always want to seek that type of love that my stepdad had for my mom and that he had for me and my siblings, even though we weren't his. And so going back to my question, do you feel like somebody can be over loved to where they don't know anything else?
Yeah. A lot of the kids that we have today, in my practice that I see, they're entitled. They are over loved. Some of these kids need to know the struggle. That's the problem. These kids do not know the true struggle. They might have had difficulty, but the true struggle, whereas you have to learn to be empathetic of others and put yourself as if, a lot of our kids are missing that. That's the soul that our society is missing. That's why you have so much crimes and atrocities being committed against each other. Because if I can't act as if I'm so busy addicted to my own love me, love me, love me, it's about me, I don't know how to give that to anybody else. And so, yeah, we can create love monsters. We can create love addicts. But the converse is true too. I never knew what love was, but I knew how to seek it. Did I seek it in the wrong way? Oh yeah. I mean, that's a side effect of it. But it's like a balance. You have to find that.
Yes.
You have to find that middle ground, that where, yes, I didn't get enough love, and yes, I got too much love, but now I need to go to the middle and find that yin and that yang and balance myself out. And if you know, and you're finding yourself in relationship where you are constantly chasing after this feeling that you can't fulfill, that's because it's not outside of you, it's something inside of you.
I'm so glad that you said that, Ms. Word, because the word love is being tossed about. Even when you just said about kids, feel entitled. So some of them can be overloved. I said, I just feel like that's overcompensated. That's just the word I would use. I think sometimes us as parents can give our kids too much. Yes. And we give them nothing to have to look for, to take care of on their own. So I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily believe that's love necessarily. I believe it's compensation. I feel like, even let's go with really rich parents who are busy. Are they constantly giving their kids things to keep them from missing them? You know what I mean? So I feel, I just feel like sometimes, again, it's compensation. And then going back a little ways back about love, I read, and I told Greg about this, my niece sent me something. It was a video, a granddaughter asked her grandmother, she said, "Did you love my grandfather?" And she said, "Hell no." Straight out. And then in the comments, it said that era, they wanted to make sure he could provide more than love him. They wanted to make sure he could take care of the home. They wanted to make sure he could get out and get a job. They wanted to make sure he can get out and do certain things that had nothing to do with love. So for her to have been married 40 plus years, to say she don't know what love is, but be married 40 plus years, that says a lot. And it kind of changed me kind of mentally, because I was like, she can't say that she loved him. Well, say she didn't love him, but married 40 plus years, because they had to come together to make a decision of what was going to work in their home. So for her, love was not a factor. It was making sure that if we had these babies, you were going to be able to take care of them. Like us, we women nowadays, we gonna step in when we don't let them drop the ball no more. Nope. For them to figure it out. We go, "Oh, you're gonna drop the ball, I'm picking it back up and rolling." So do we take away the chance sometimes for the men to step up and
Absolutely.
do what they need
Exactly.
to do? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because who's
Absolutely.
guilty? I raised both hands, these 10 and the 10 down there. Trust me, I got them up because I know I was definitely guilty of it. So sometimes I feel like we take that opportunity, but most times we had this conversation. What does love have to do with it?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all from the perspective of, what I see coming through the doors, what I've seen coming through the mental hospitals, these kids don't know how to cope. They don't know how to deal with the rejection. I'm sorry, I'm not for participation awards. You need to know what failure feels like.
Yes.
I'm for everybody's a winner because you're not. I'm not for, giving these kids this false sense of security that everybody's a winner. No, everybody's not a winner. Some of you are sorry, and some of you need to step up and do a little bit more. And we've put a whole generation of kids. I have kids who can't even handle when their parents do tell them no. Well, I have right. No, you don't have rights. You need to earn it, like respect and the things that we had to fight for growing up. You had to earn the right to sit at the big people table at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I'll never forget when I was 19 years old. And my grandmother and them were in a circle, and I was sitting in there, and they were talking about somebody, and I turned around, and I said, "Grown folks' business. I have graduated. I have arrived."
Already feel good, enemies roar. I know that feeling, girl.
But we are.
But let's be clear. They still was picky with what they said because you really wasn't that much older.
Of course, it was like pledging. It was like pledging. You knew. We running through some basics.
The reason why I was there is because I had just pledged Delta and my grandma was proud. So I could keep it with, but it took a lot of proving. And that's the thing too. All my life I spent myself proving I'm good enough. Until one day I woke up and I said, you know what? No matter what I say, somebody gonna have something to say about me. They said something about Jesus. I mean, I don't care anymore. So now I'm to the point where I'm gonna tell you exactly what to say about me so you know, because I was born alone, I'm gonna die alone. And the only person that has to be with me is me. And we need to re-edify our kids to have that mantra. That's why our suicide rate is high. That's why the drug and alcohol rate is high with these kids. That's why the sexual activity is. That's why social media is the way it is. Because kids are constantly looking for that love that we have not taught in them. The struggle is real. In mythology, there was this whole idea that when God created man, that he made everything perfect and all they did was fall over dead. And they were like, well, why? God was like, well, why do they keep falling over dead? Because strife builds character. It gives me a reason to go on. Why do I have a reason to go on if everything's perfect? And I can promise you that's the truth, because I've been in Capel, listening to Capel problems. And I done been in West Dallas, listening to West Dallas problems. And they two totally different things. And so when you have something to strive for, that's your motivation. That's your reason to live.
That's some of them kids that you're talking about. The first thing I thought about, those kids are like that because there's some adults like that. Mm-hmm. They are all they do is it's always somebody else's fault for what you do. Me and my mother had that conversation. Ain't it funny how everybody, when somebody say they have a trigger, it ain't never happy. It's always negative. Oh, well, that triggered me. But it triggered you to be negative.
Well, put it on Facebook.
Did it trigger you to be negative because you didn't want to be accountable, or it just really triggered you something because somebody else did it to you? And then I'm having the conversation with Keith was down here when we threw our party this Sunday, and I told her, she talking about, well, that's kind of the first thing you go to. I said, that's not true. I said, walk up behind your dude and kiss him on his neck and say, hey, baby, that's a happy trigger. I said, it's what you made it. It ain't what it was. You determine what that trigger is. If you wrong, be wrong. Be accountable of it. But then you got these pacifying adults raising these pacifying kids. And when you say something about kids are entitled, well, y'all call me entitled if y'all want to. Because my whole thing is I was raised with it, but I knew what it was to go get it. I had to go get it. My first pair of Jabos, I had to bring home at least A's and B's, and a woman is on here to tell you that.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and this is why I say, when a man is with a woman, allow him to earn you. Don't give him you. Let him earn you. Let me show you that the word you said, inconsistent, I'm going to flip it. Let me show you I can be consistent in what I say and what I do. And if my actions speak just as much as my words, then what else you want me to do? What else you want me to talk about?
Well, I mean, you know what, Gregory? I don't consider you as being entitled, because you heard the word no a lot.
A whole lot.
A lot.
But now, I grew up understanding that there's only two answers you can get when I ask the question. Absolutely. Yes or no. So absolutely. I don't care.
Today, I can tell you I heard the word entitlement, and this is the word entitlement. I have a client, and I've been working with this person for a little while. And the mom came and talked to me about, some of the frustrations. And I said, I was talking with the individual, and I said, why don't you tell your mother thank you? Why do you feel like, and that the individual said, well, that's what they're supposed to do. She's supposed to do that for me. She's supposed to give me clothes. I didn't ask to be born. And it's this whole, I don't have to say thank you, because I was like, why didn't you say thank you for XYZ behavior? And the kid truly, and this is an 18-year-old individual, truly within their very fiber, and I'm having to weave this fiber, believes that I wasn't asked to be here. Your responsibility is to give me food, clothing, and shelter. And I don't have to tell you thank you, because you're supposed to do that. And that's entitlement. That whole attitude, you got to, because I'm your kid. No, the world don't owe you nothing. No. But I'm telling you, we have a whole generation of kids. I got to remind her every once in a while, I don't owe you nothing.
Right. Ain't nothing free with salvation.
Right.
But I mean, we do have people who in their head, and they grow up to adults, and then relationships, they think you need to love me because I am such and such a person. And you have to give me this attention because I am such and such a person. And then those are the narcissists of the world. Those are the, the people that just demand so much of you that they become like, they take up all the oxygen in the room, and you get tired of being with them and tired of being around them. So
this sounds like a controlling person.
Yeah.
Every single day. And sometimes I just sit there like this. Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Well, let me speak for me, because I was a teenage mom, and I'll tell anybody, if it wasn't for my mother and my father and the grace of God, there's no telling where Greg and I would have been. So let me just put that out there and give a shout out to my parents. But the thing is that parenthood is a very, very serious responsibility. And we can jack our kids up beyond repair sometimes, and then sit back and wonder why they act like they do, when we're the ones that are responsible for that behavior. Right. And so, I will tell anybody, think long and hard before you bring children into this world, because you have to remember that children are a gift from God, and God is going to hold you responsible for what you instilled in that child, what you taught that child. And, Gregory will tell you, because I was a teenage mom, it's like there were things that he was exposed to that he never should have been exposed to. And as his mother, I have apologized to him, and standing in my truth and being accountable and saying, hey, you know what? I was just young, dumb, and stupid. Please don't make the same mistakes that I made. Just don't do it.
Right.
That's what I tell my kids, Mom. I tell them the same thing. I say be better than me, because I know I did some crazy stuff.
Well, I mean, and even with my daughters, my oldest daughter, I try to give her, sometimes I feel like I gave her too much, but I love the person that she is. She makes me proud, because she has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that even though I did spoil her to death, she got some fiber in her, because any child that can go from being autistic, saying you're supposed to be, in a unit, to doing what my daughter does, she got some fight in her. My youngest is my hero. I will tear up talking about my youngest, my baby Caitlin. She makes me want to be a better woman,
Man,
and
that's what's up.
her, I healed the kid in me, because she came from where I came from. So because I care about her and because she's in my house, I'm healing that little girl inside of me. The little girl that wanted someone to come save me, that's my baby. And so you're right, it is a huge responsibility. We say, a crazy person behind the wheel of a car can, kill somebody and needs a license to drive. Why don't you need a license to parent? Why don't you
Yes, ma'am.
class? Why don't you need to get some education to parent? Because I sit in my office day after day looking at broken individuals, and the parents have dropped off and said, fix me. I can't fix this baby. I can't fix that. It's not something you can fix. You need to have a license to have a child. When you get pregnant, give you an education class. Since you want to make these anti-abortion laws, okay, fine, great. What you going to do now? Are you going to provide some funding and some education for the people that get pregnant and that can't take care of it, or don't know any better, or the mentally ill? People don't forget. People, just because you have Down syndrome doesn't mean you can't reproduce.
Absolutely.
Retardation doesn't mean you can't reproduce. We have to have accountability to the kids that come after, even for those kids, the people that are incapacitated. And so it's like, I feel like these new laws, we need to protect children by protecting children from some of their parents. And
wow,
that's a social responsibility. That's a whole different type of love. Because I'm telling you, we got a lot of serial killers and psychopaths in the making walking around right now. I mean, I had to tell a child today, please stop throwing the fact that your mother was a drug addict in her face. Mom beat drugs. Mom made sacrifices every time they get into it. Well, you was a drug addict. That's not cool. You don't talk to your parents like that. But we have a whole generation of young people that think that that's cool. And
well, I will say, I get that sometimes, because so it's what I'm saying. So it's just, even when I used to bring female, when I bring females around, it's just like, if you really can't handle conversation with me, you can't get past level. You can't even get past my two sisters, and they ain't wild uncut. Then you want me to then I got to bring you around my mother, and then if you reach the real queen, which is my grandmother, boy, look, and you got to know my grandmother. What comes out, what comes up, comes out. She grown. She do things grown. People say you age like your grandmother. Yeah, but that's because I'm not gonna sugarcoat them with you. Let's just keep it 100. And then so many people in my own family have a whole problem with me and my mother and how we conversate. This and that. Do you really say that? Da 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 da. Look, my mother gave me the rights, rights, and benefits to talk to her. She gives me things that your mom don't even give you, that you wish you could do, but you can't. But when you come over here, you start running your mouth. But when you get home, you shut up. So your mom at your house is Debo. So don't do that. Because I have to take you to a whole nother level and go, and as I say, bless your game. Speaking of blessing game, man, Kim caked up, what's up? She said, I grew up with a lot of love. My mom raised 7 children alone, and we each had a task. So surviving was a way of life. But to us, it was taking care of one another. I get that. She said, hello, Miss Ivy Carmen. She said this surviving love is like foreign language. Kim says it's really not an excuse. It's a way of a life and a learned behavior. But Kim, you can unlearn that behavior if you want to. My father could have unlearned that behavior if he wanted to, but he stayed in that person that he created. So it's just like, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying you can change that if you want. Let's see. You see, Miss Carmen agreed. Hey, Frank. Frankie say you both have to be committed to it. That word, committed. We all seek love regardless. That's Miss Carmen. She also said, I remember hearing a child tell me this. He was in the 5th grade. She's supposed to. I guess she's going along with what Miss Roy said. So, you know, it's a good conversation. I mean, and that's why I said, oh, we got to talk about this. Because when she brought it to yesterday, we was just sitting around talking, and we do this quite often. It was just me and my mother looked like, whoa. But she opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff when I had to deal with people who sometimes you had to grow up at an early age. So you don't know what being a kid is. You never had a life. Me, I had fun doing I had a childhood. I kicked it. I went on vacations. I had a good time. You know, whatever the case may be. I lived life, went to school, had fun, whatever, whatnot. Me and Charles, you know, we did our thing. But then some people didn't get the opportunity of doing it. So it kind of opened, like you said, like you said earlier, being open. It kind of opened my mind to, okay, now I got to understand a little bit better. But then for me to understand, you got to talk to me. I cannot read your mind. Tell me what it is. I can't assume this and I can't assume that. But then I also say it's a two-way street. I have to know how to talk to whomever that is, whether it's family, friend, coworker, whatever case may be. So yeah, I know we went over, and I apologize. It's my fault because I did that because of the audio thing messed up. So we're gonna go ahead and close it out. You know, we always do the last word. Of course, this is your first time joining us, man. Please share. Please tell everybody this is what we do. If you like to donate to what we do or donate to be what I call an investor, you can always do it by $MASON for 10. We take all that and all those proceeds goes to we're running the show and putting live shows together. I had one put together, but since the pandemic, since the new Alpha 5 Omega, whatever the thing is called, is out. You know, I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of shaking, but the world ain't stopped. So I mean, it's still open. So I'm still open or whatever. Right. And I know our own First Lady is an advocate of the actual getting vaccinated. Once again, the vaccination is not gonna keep you from getting it. It'll keep you out of the ICU. Get it straight. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Of course, we're gonna have the last word. I'll start with you, Miss License Roy.
Here's your daily dose of cuteness. Say hi, sugar.
Okay.
You know, I have my therapy animals. They keep you grounded.
I see.
I just want people to say, just be accountable to other human beings. We are all human. We all fall short. You know, you can heal yourself at any stage in the game. There's a 77-year-old woman in my forensic psychology class, and she says she's doing this because she wants to, and she's got a sound mind, and God has blessed her this far, and she's gonna get her PhD. And so if you feel hurt, broken, lost, don't feel like you can put yourself back together, please seek therapy. It don't have to be me, it can be anybody, but you know, understand this. The reason why therapists tend to be good at what they do is because they've been what you're doing.
First Lady.
Hello, y'all. Again, thank you all for listening. Those that came in, hey Kimmy, how are you? You know, my thing is just to keep growing, keep glowing, and let's just understand that relationship is serious, and you have to. And I'm learning to come outside of yourself to make sure that the two can come together. So I love you all. Thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for being on. Always a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. So again, thank you, everybody. So enjoy the rest of your evening.
See, no.
It's not me, Tiffany. It's the God in me. So please
I
give
knew
God
she was
the
gonna
glory.
say it.
So
of course,
in a certificate, Miss, you gave birth to kids, so you know.
Hey, look, you're right. Me and Brady tell all the time, girl, you got 2 blessings in your house. How does it feel? Everybody wish they had a blessing. Now, when my mother know I love her, I tell everybody, if it wasn't my mother, we'd be thick as thieves. When I tell you that is my road dog, that is my best friend. I don't tell her everything. But me, you know, the umbilical cord was cut a long time ago. And I don't want her to tell me everything. But I go to her sometimes and say, hey, look, I don't need to be my mom, I need to be my homie. Tell me what it really is. So that's what I appreciate about her. And of course, she was on in a conversation, so that's why I had her on the show today. But go ahead, Mother. Your last word, ma'am.
Well, thank you for the invite, Gregory. I appreciate that.
Of course,
Um,
mother.
And yes, I will tell the world. I have two very good kids. I'm very proud of them. I love them very, very much. And I guess for me, what I want to leave you with is, parents, let's get back to being parents and raising productive adult children that can really bring something to this world and make the changes that need to be made. I love Greg's theme, your Black role matters, and we need to get back to instilling that in our children. So thank you again, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. My big brother, Mr. DJ.
Yeah, man. But again, Mama, thank you for joining the show. I love hearing what you got to say because you raw with it. Greg, don't worry about what Greg is saying. I listen to you all the time.
Hold on, boy. Hold on, boy.
But this was a good conversation because it makes you really think about a lot of things when you growing up, and that's why I knew when I got out of that 17-year thing, I knew I needed therapy for myself because I could have went back to the old Charles. Greg know what I'm talking about too. I could have went back to the old Charles and was like, forget everybody. But when I got my therapy and I got to where I want to be in another relationship, and I was going to bring that baggage in, I actually found somebody that actually kind of really completes me a little bit. And the relationship is real easy now. We have our bumps and bruises, but we talk through it and get past it. Like Tiffany was saying, when you had that bump in the road and you can still talk through it and get past it, you got something there. And so just want to thank y'all. I want to share that little tidbit. The show has been sponsored by nobody today. So we out of here. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Love, peace, and hair grease. Out.
As you see, he's the Russell Simmons of the show. As usual. Hey man, look, we thank you for joining us. Please make sure you share it. Make sure you catch Hey Ladies Saturday. It starts at 11 o'clock. Hey man, it's a women's empowerment thing. They always talking about something that I be engaged. Be like, y'all really think that? We didn't know that. Interesting.
One day.
So definitely I always have something to bring to the table, man. So make sure you catch that on Saturday. If you can catch us doing a live show, please come out. The Juneteenth thing is on. I was told that we are able to be a part of it next year. I will make sure I get confirmation, but we'll be inside, not outside. Praise the mighty name. No heats, because I don't need none of y'all passing out again. But other than that, man, I hope this kind of gets you. Normally I'll end with it with, what I'm saying, faith and fear can't dwell in the same place. And, I always remember love, live, and laugh. But what I'm going to say today is, man, make the choice. Just make the choice to change. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes 21 days to change a habit. But if you make the choice to be the change. No matter what you've gone through. I use me as a prime example. I know who my father was. And when I actually learned his love language, I was able to understand why he acts the way that he acts. So I never took it negative. But I made sure before my father checked out of here because of COVID that he knew, man, you was my superhero. Everything I wanted to do was about you. My mother knows if my dad, you could tell me I did a good job, but if he said it was mediocre, it wasn't good enough. I held myself to that standard, but I had to break myself of that. I had to be able to say, I'm good. I'm not damaged. I'm good. I know I bring something to the table. I'm not this. And not have him dictate what that is. Not saying it's a bad thing, but you grow up and certain things you find out about yourself. I had an issue today where I could have did the old Gregory, as Charles was saying. But I learned that you can't make knee-jerk reactions. Get all the information before you start, excuse my French, shitting on people, and have a conversation. And once you get all the information, maybe something could change. Don't be so quick to write somebody off because you just never know. You might need them in the long run. So, hey, that's my thing, man. Once again, we appreciate y'all joining us, man. We'll see y'all Tuesday, of course. after these Cowboys lose on Thursday,
No,
we'll talk about it.
Get out.
I'm gonna cut his camera off.
See, one of the areas I failed as a parent.
You did a good job. You know why I say you did a good job? Because you taught me how not to be engaged with losers. Great job,
Really, Gregory?
Kudos to you.
Well,
Man,
we're gonna see what the Denver Broncos gonna do this year.
Amen.
We'll see. Hey, my defense.
No, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but Greg show rocking that blue today. You go on in the show though.
Hold on. Because it has polo on it, baby. It has polo on it. It has polo on it. Oh, well, you know, it's blue. It's blue in the Bronco color. So what did you talking about?
I call
it. Good job.
Amen, everybody. We had such a great show today. Thank you.
Everybody get 10 and eat for effort. Y'all have a good one, man. We out of here.